You're watching a production of South Dakota Public Broadcasting.
This high school activities championship event is conducted under the auspices of the South Dakota High School Activities Association.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome inside the Barnett Center here in Aberdeen. We come to you from Northern State University's campus, the site of your Class B Boys State Basketball Championships. I'm JJ Hardigan. He's Steve Toom. We're excited to have you aboard for the final two games on day two of this three-day tournament. And we've got two big ones coming your way here tonight, starting out with Hitchcock-Tulare and Hanson, a pair of teams that came in as the lower seed on day one, Steve, but a pair of upsets in the opening round of our bracket put these two teams in the semifinals.
Yeah, Hitchcock-Tulare knocked off number one seed Faith 54-40 in the opening round, and then Hanson beat number four seed Wolsey-Wessington in an epic game 56-55. So that sets up our first matchup later on tonight. It'll be White River taking on Langford. Semifinal night, always such an exciting night here at the state tournament, and the Hanson Beavers provided plenty of excitement for their fans yesterday. A 1-point win over the Warbirds of Wolsey-Wessington.
You see the Hanson Beavers there getting their warm-up shots finished up. Let's zoom in on their school as we take a look at our Google Earth images. There's Hanson High School, and let's take a look at what this team has done well this season. Obviously, they are led by their big players there in Aaron Wanandi, Jordan Marquardt, Sam Vanderstow. But this squad here, very impressive, really from top to bottom.
Yep, and you see Jordan Marquardt, the all-time career scoring leader, 19 points a game for the senior. Taylor Nichols is a double-double machine, nearly 12 boards a game, in addition to 17 points. And Aaron Wanandi, he's the point guard. He'll make things flow at 3 assists a game, a little over 3 assists per game. Josh Oltman's the head coach there, 20-4 the record for Hanson. And the one change in the starting lineup, they'll put Lane Kessler in place of Jared Zenz tonight. A little more size in that lineup, as Zenz goes at about 5'10" or so. Kessler at 6'1", Wanandi at 5'10" and a junior. Nichols, the big man, 6'4", Marquardt at 6'1", and then Sam Vanderstow, the three-point specialist, starts at a forward there. Nichols and Marquardt both signed at Dakota Wesleyan.
Taylor Nichols had a great game yesterday. In fact, a double-double, 28 points, 13 rebounds. But they matched that inside presence with three-point shooting. They were 8 of 18 from long distance at 44%. That's going to be huge for them here again today. Let's take a look now at the Hitchcock-Tulare Patriots, who come in at 17-7 on the season, and they needed a big upset on day one and played about as perfect a basketball game as you could possibly imagine against the number one seed. Got the 14-point win. As we zoom in on their squad here, 17-7 as you see, Kenny Huther putting together a great squad led by Landon Gatsky there at the top, who's leading their team in 14 points a game. Tyler Oxley, 6.5 rebounds. He is a true presence inside. And Chase Bixler, who handles the rock, really a sound facilitator for this team as well.
Yeah, the Hitchcock-Tulare used a good inside-outside game. Trevor Hofer starts at a forward. He got off to a good start. That opened things up for the big man Oxley in the middle, who ended up with 16 points, 5 rebounds yesterday. He averages 10.5. Gatsky had 21 points in the win. He'll start at a senior guard. Chase Bixler, a junior, a very steady guard. He had 9 points yesterday. And Trevor Hofer, again, that great start for him. Boston Knipling, by the way, your other starter for Hitchcock-Tulare, the 6-foot junior. And it was the baskets by Hofer really that opened everything up for Hitchcock-Tulare as they got off to that great start against Faith, posting that 14-point victory, the 8 seed, knocking off the 1 seed yesterday. But now it's the Patriots taking on the Beavers of Hanson. I think this is going to be a really, really good basketball game.
Hitchcock-Tulare, 52% from the field, 57% from three-point land in their game yesterday. Shot 73% from the free throw line. They're going to need to match that from the stripe again here today. It'll be the Hanson Beavers in their blue uniforms today, and the Patriots will be wearing their home whites. We've done all weekend to get you set for this one. Now it's time to hand it over to our public address announcer here inside the Barnett Center, Mr. Jim Apple, for tonight's starting lineups.
Good evening. We are pleased to welcome you to the semifinal session of the State Boys B Basketball Tournament. The South Dakota High School Activities Association reminds everyone that these state tournament games are intended for the enjoyment and benefit of high school students. Good sportsmanship is essential for the proper support of the student athletes. That is why South Dakota High School Activities Association, along with its corporate partners, Sanford Health, First Premier Bank Card, Farmers Union Insurance Agency, Billion Automotive, and the South Dakota Army National Guard, supports good sportsmanship. With good sportsmanship, everyone is a winner. Support good sportsmanship during tonight's games. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please stand as we honor the flag of our country? Please join in singing our national anthem as it is played by the Gettysburg High School Band under the direction of Adam Roberts. We would remind all in attendance that the proper respect is to remove your hat, face the flag, and stand at attention with your right hand over your heart. Veterans and active duty military not in uniform may salute the flag, our national anthem. High School Band. Tonight's first matchup is between the Hitchcock-Tulare Patriots and the Hanson Beavers. We will announce the starting lineups in alternating fashion. First for Hanson, at a guard, number 1, Aaron Wanendi. For Hitchcock-Tulare, starting at a guard, number 3, Chase Bixler. For Hanson, starting at a guard, number 21, Jordan Marquardt. For Hitchcock-Tulare, starting at a guard, number 5, Landon Gatsky. For Hanson, starting at a forward, number 23, Sam Vanderstouw. For Hitchcock-Tulare, starting at a guard, number 4, Boston Knipling. For Hanson, starting at a forward, number 30, Lane Kessler. For Hitchcock-Tulare, starting at a forward, number 23, Trevor Hofer. And for Hanson, starting at center, number 55, Taylor Nichols. And for Hitchcock-Tulare, starting at center, number 22, Tyler Oxley. Assistant coaches for the Hanson Beavers, Ray Slava and Peyton Smith. Head coach, Josh Oltmans. And for Hitchcock-Tulare, assistant coach, Josh McKelvey. And head coach, Kenny Heater. Officials for tonight's contest, Josh Kemp, Bo Beck, and Mark Logan. Let's get ready to play some hoops. Here we go. Let's hear it.
Starting lineups, and a thanks to Mr. Jim Apple for today's introductions. Once again, I'm JJ Hardigan. He's Steve Toom, and we're ready for some Class B state tournament action here on South Dakota Public Broadcasting. You see number 5, Hanson, who had an upset win yesterday, getting set to take on number 8, Hitchcock-Tulare, also had an upset win yesterday. These two teams trying to get to the state title game. And it's all coming up here right now as Nichols steps inside the center circle. He's the tournament's leading scorer and leading rebounder here tonight. He's going to be our big player to watch this evening for Hanson and really for both sides of the floor.
Hanson opens up man-to-man. Oxley being guarded by Nichols in the paint.
They've got it at the top of the key. It'll be the Patriots in white working from right to left on your TV screens. Turn around. And so far, it's going to be Hitchcock-Tulare who comes out firing. Tyler Oxley confidently over the head of Nichols.
That's a big bucket for the Patriots to start as they went right inside attacking Nichols, the 6'5" center for the Hanson Beavers.
The Barnett center is loud and rocking. 3 no good from the left wing. Rebounded by Nichols. He goes baseline, but got his foot out of bounds. It'll go back to the Patriots.
Patriots dodged the bullet there. That long rebound went out to the corner, and nobody was there. And finally, Nichols ran out there and grabbed it. Patriots were lucky that they didn't surrender a basket on the second effort.
7:13 left to go here in the opening goings. Just underway, first quarter. Hitchcock-Tulare with a bucket from Oxley a moment ago. They're looking for more now at the top of the key. That's Bixler, floater off the front side of the iron, no good. Wanandi will push it in transition. 3 on the way, good! Knocking it down from the right wing, Jordan Marquardt.
He was held in check to just 9 points yesterday. I expect he'll have more points tonight.
Yeah, Marquardt was just 2 of 13 in that game and knocked down 2 of 7 threes. All of his buckets came from beyond the arc, and they're going to call Nichols with a push to the back of Oxley.
Yep, foul away from the basketball, and one thing Coach Oldsman has talked to us about is that sometimes Taylor Nichols will get into foul trouble. That's going to be a key factor tonight for both Oxley and for Nichols.
Oxley maybe just a little bit more athletic than Nichols, but those two match up incredibly well on the interior. Ball at the top of the key for the Patriots. About a minute and a half into this one here this evening.
Key for the Patriots is their guard play. Gatsky and Bixler, they're the combo that makes things happen for Hitchcock-Tulare.
Bixler back outside. Gatsky now with the left-handed dribble will slow things down. Hanson with the 1-point edge on defense in blue.
Patriots are a very deliberate team. This is their style. They want ball games in the 50s. In fact, when they surrender more than 55 points, they lose almost all the time. When they hold opponents under 55, they have not been beaten this season.
Oxley dribbles it off his own foot. The ball is loose, picked up by the Beavers.
Nice play by Kessler.
Into the front court we go. Marquardt spins, stops at the free throw line, nearly traveled. Now Wanandi kicks it back outside. Marquardt wants it. Nichols is posting up, but he's being handled in the interior nicely by the Patriots. Marquardt for 3, no good. Tipped in the air, loose, and it's going to be an offensive foul on the Beavers. They're going to get Lane Kessler for his first personal.
Yeah, Kessler in there to provide some extra rebounding, extra presence inside the 6'1" senior. He did not score yesterday. Got into a little bit of foul trouble yesterday, did Lane Kessler.
5:18 left to go in this first quarter. Plenty of time for both squads who are trying to get a good feel for the tempo in this game. Oxley, only points of the night so far for Hitchcock-Tulare. He kicks it back outside. Nichols all over it. Bixler back inside. Oxley nowhere to go. Tips it back to the top of the key. That's Knipling. And now they reset the offense again. No shot clock here at the Class B level in case you're joining us for the first time. So you're going to see a lot of stall tactic offense throughout the night. Lob pass inside. Oxley with the nice grab and the finish. He'll go to the line to try to make it a 3-point play the old-fashioned way.
What a pass by Bixler to set up Oxley. Couldn't have done that better for the Patriots. Watch this again. Bixler, the drive, looks like he's going to shoot. Nope, he passes it. Oxley, the perfect finish.
Free throw off the front of the iron is good, and Hitchcock-Tulare with the 5-3 lead. We're at our first media timeout of the night. We'll be back with more from the Class B Boys State Basketball Tournament in Aberdeen. This is South Dakota Public Broadcasting. Welcome back inside the Barnett Center here on the campus of Northern State University. I'm JJ Hardigan, he's Steve Toom. Semi-final boys basketball action coming your way here on SDPB. We're glad to have it with you as the Hanson Beavers try to get back in this one, down by 2.
They bring Jared Zenz into the lineup.
Jumper no good, rebound underneath, tipped by Oxley, and it'll end up in the hands of the Patriots.
Patriots, much like what we saw from Parker earlier today, have 2 very good guards. Both of them can play the point. Bixler, the normal point guard, but Gatsky can fill in that role if need be as well. He's a very good ball handler, very good passer.
3 from the top of the key is no good. Oxley with the tip, it's still loose and recovered by the Patriots. They will reset their offense, and again it goes through the hands of Bixler, as you mentioned a moment ago. Oxley out where he doesn't feel all that comfortable around the perimeter, gets it into the hands of the guards. Now back up to the top of the key. They'll kick it into the hands of Gatsky. Gatsky guarded by Marquardt. That's going to be a good battle tonight.
Hanson played a lot of zone yesterday. Tonight they go man-to-man against the Patriots.
Essentially a free throw there. No good from the line. It goes out of bounds. Last touch. They're going to say that one goes off the fingertips of Trevor Hofer. Nichols had it. Hofer tipped it away, and it'll be the Hanson Beavers ball.
Couple of subs in here for the Patriots. Cooper Gordon in and Eli Hofer. Gordon wears number 30, Eli Hofer number 25 for Hitchcock-Tulare.
Great crowd on hand. Hardly a seat left available inside the Barnett Center here in the early goings, and we still have one more game to be played today. A lot of these fans showed up early on Wednesday night, got here Thursday morning. The crowds have been growing ever since. Lob pass inside. That one too strong. It goes over the head of Nichols and out of bounds.
Yep, Vanderstow tried to feed Nichols down low, who was slipped in behind his defender, and he corralled that one. No one was between him and the basket.
Pretty clean game so far here. No real foul troubles to talk about. Both teams off to a bit of a slow start on the offensive side. As the Patriots go back to work. Nichols got his fingers on that one. It will stay in the hands of the Patriots, though, here with 2:57 left to go in the opening quarter.
Trevor Hofer is matched up against a shorter player in Zenz as that ball goes out of bounds. And Trevor Hofer at 6'2" tried to take the 5'9" guard right to the basket, but Nichols came over and helped him out.
Fans, again, if you want to get involved in our broadcast, you can do so by going on to our social media sites, Facebook and Twitter. Just search SDPB Sports. Take a minute now to share some photos. Get involved in the conversation. The hashtag is SDHoops15. We're all tied up at 5 as Hanson responds on the other end. Now a near steal. It is a steal. Pushing it into the front court and going all the way in for the layup will be Sam Vanderstow.
Zenz made the last bucket. Vanderstow goes coast to coast after the steal. And Hanson playing a little more up-tempo.
Bixler inside, lost the rock for a minute, recovers, and the left-handed layup ties it back up at 7.
Bixler has good size on his frame at 6'1". He can maneuver in the paint and score in there.
Floater is swatted out of bounds. What a rejection there from Hitchcock-Tulare's Trevor Hofer.
Zenz tried to go inside, nothing doing there. Knippling and Oxley in. Checking out will be Gordon and Eli Hofer for the Patriots.
2:03 left to go. Nichols, the big man, gets the inbound, finds Marquardt. His shot no good. Rebounded by Nichols on the long outlet rebound, and they will reset the offense with under 2 minutes left to go in the opening quarter. Drive, Marquardt up and under. His shot too strong, but he'll have a couple free throws coming up. That was a nifty play underneath.
Yep, didn't get the shot to go. Boy, that would have been the highlight of the tournament had that shot gone in. And Trevor Hofer will collect that foul. That is the first foul of the game for the Patriots.
Marquardt at the stripe again. Had a bit of a rough day shooting yesterday. Knocks down his first free throw here. On the day yesterday, Marquardt was 3 for 4 from the free throw line, although he was just 2 for 13 from the field. Second attempt is good. 9-7 Hanson with 1:45 left to go in the opening quarter. Ball in the interior. That shot rejected by Nichols. A vicious swat, and here comes Hanson trying to extend their lead. Ball's at the top of the key. Marquardt sizing up the D. Pass tipped into the hands of Marquardt. Quick release. Misses everything, and it'll end up in the hands of the Patriots.
Yep, tried to catch him napping a little bit, the quick three off the deflected pass, but just misfired.
Oxley kicks it to the right side of the paint. That ball tipped out of bounds. Last touch by the Patriots. Trevor Hofer couldn't handle it as he tried to recover it underneath the hoop.
Keegan Mallon, number 21, now into the game for the Patriots. He'll replace Trevor Hofer. I like the thought process there in that play because they had an opening, but Hanson's interior defense rose to the occasion. Now let's see what the Beavers do under a minute to go.
Clock ticking down as Marquardt gets in the right wing, drives past the defender, gets Oxley up in the air. It didn't really have anything going, and Marquardt had to give it up to avoid the travel. Patriots looking to tie or take the lead. Bixler for three, no good. Nichols with the big board defensively for the Beavers.
Nichols showing his great footwork, ran down that rebound. Big man can move.
30 seconds left to go in the quarter. Wanandi, his floater is good from 15 feet away.
Nice play run there by Hanson. Nice free throw line jumper by Aaron Wanandi, who averages nearly 6 points a game.
2-possession lead for the Beavers as the opening quarter ticks down. Under 10 seconds now left here in the first. Bixler around the screen. Draws some contact, no whistle. Now steps back in the corner. Three, no good off the front side of the iron. And that's how your first quarter comes to an end after the Landon Gatsky miss. Hanson leads Hitchcock-Tulare 11-7. We'll be back with more in the second quarter after this on South Dakota Public Broadcasting. Welcome back inside the Barnett Center. This place is loud and wild after one quarter of play. Hanson leading Hitchcock-Tulare 11-7. Pretty good start for both teams here today, but Hanson getting a couple buckets towards the end of the quarter there, Steve, and now have the 4-point edge heading into quarter number 2.
Hanson 4 of 10 from the floor. Hitchcock-Tulare 3 of 10. One three-pointer made by the Beavers. They've got one more free throw as well, in addition to that additional basket. So that's the 4-point edge there for the Hanson Beavers. Rebounding pretty even, 7-6, advantage Hanson.
Wanandi hands it off to Vanderstoe. Behind the back dribble, now picks it up, gets it to Marquardt. Quick pass inside, defender in the air, he drives, shot swatted out of bounds. It'll stay in the hands of the Hanson Beavers. Lane Kessler a little indecision there on what he wanted to do with the ball. And it ultimately ended up costing him potentially 2 points, but the Beavers do keep the ball. Three from the top of the key, no good.
Oh, Patriots almost knocked it away from each other, but Knipling came up with it.
Ball's at the top of the key, Gatsky finding Bixler. Three guards will touch it, Knipling. Now back to Gatsky. Step back two is off the front of the iron, no good. And another rebound for Vanderstoe.
Hanson, a very good rebounding team.
Vanderstoe, a little separation. That one high off the glass is no good. 6:32 left to go here in the opening half of action. Hanson leading 11-7 over Hitchcock-Tulare. Patriots with the ball, but a double dribble called as Knipling tried to recover it for the Patriots near the top of the key.
Yep, mental mistake there, as we're going to have Jared Zenz check in. He'll replace Kessler in the Hanson lineup.
6:23 left to go in this opening half. Hanson shooting 31% as a squad. Hitchcock-Tulare just 28% to start the day. They are 3 of 11. Hanson not a whole lot better though, just 4 of 13. Ball's at the top of the key.
Little weave here being run by Hanson. That's the open shot.
Shot no good. Rebounded by Oxley. And here come the Patriots. Slow to get back up was Wanandi, and he's dealing with a little bit of an ankle twist. There's going to be a 30-second timeout called on the floor.
Yep, Hitchcock-Tulare will call the 30-second timeout. Update from the AA tournament. They're just underway with their semifinals. Sioux Falls, Washington leading Rapid City Stevens late in the first quarter, 15-10 at last check.
6 minutes left to go in this opening quarter. So far, Hitchcock-Tulare does not have bench points. They don't have points in the paint. No second chance points. It's been a little bit of a tough start for them here today offensively. Again, 3 of 11 from the field, 0 of 3 from three-point land.
Oxley got off to the good start for the Patriots, scored 5 points right away. You have the jumper by Bixler, and that's it. Nothing else for the Patriots so far. But the pace of the game at the moment is favoring Hitchcock-Tulare.
5:55 left to go here in the opening half. Patriots with the ball. Floater off the glass, no good. Oxley with the rebound. His putback swatted by Nichols. Just a beast inside underneath for the Hanson Beavers.
It's at least his second block in this game.
Dribbling around and trying to get free, Jared Zenz finds the open shooter and knocking it down, Jordan Marquardt.
I think when Zenz mishandled the ball that threw off the Patriot defense, Marquardt just slipped around to the top of the key and he was wide open.
Yeah, Patriots anticipating just a little bit on the defensive end as they try to shoot that one over Nichols, no good, and they'll bring it back out. 3 from way downtown, no good, and Nichols secures the rebound for the Beavers. It's been all Hanson here in the first half. Yeah,
that wrong rebound went over the head of Oxley, who actually had good position, but that's sometimes the problem with the three-pointers. You'll get good rebounding position, and the rebound goes over your head.
Marquardt tried the long-distance shot, no good. Might have rushed that one a little bit for the coach's liking. Head coach Josh Oltman's looking away there for a moment. Now refocusing as his team does defensively. Patriots getting inside. Oxley's turnaround too strong, and a rebound. The presence of Nichols is forcing these players in the interior for the Patriots to put a little extra muscle on their shots, trying to shoot it over his outstretched arms, and they're missing everything.
Foul on the Patriots as they were double teaming Nichols in the post, and they're going to catch Oxley, and we've got a timeout on the floor.
4:24 left to go. Hanson leading Hitchcock-Tulare 14-7. We'll be back with more of our coverage of the Class B Boys State Championships on South Dakota Public Broadcasting. Hitchcock-Tulare 14-7. Back to action we go. The Beavers with the ball. And it'll be Marquardt at the top of the key, guarded by Hitchcock-Tulare's Boston Kipling.
Patriots yet to score in this quarter. They're shooting 3 of 16 from the floor. That's only 19%.
4:08 left to go now. Vanderstoe, top of the key, trying to get around a defender. Kicks it into the corner. Hanson had the shot, but they want to try to work their offense. Vanderstoe launching the 3, missed everything. The putback is good, though, for Jordan Marquardt. He is all over the floor right now for Hanson.
I think Vanderstoe's playing. Yeah, I meant that as a pass all along. I don't think his teammates will buy that excuse.
We'll have to see if the official statistician gives him an assist on that one. As the shot was blocked inside again, Marquardt with the bounce pass into the front to Nichols, and what a finish!
Reward the big man running the floor. Timeout, Patriots.
3:31 left to go, and all the energy and momentum on Hanson's side. It's an 11-point lead.
And what a play by Nichols. He's going to get the block on the other end of the floor, and then he's going to come up and watch the bounce pass from Marquardt. That was pretty. And then Nichols, again, you got to reward the big man when he runs the floor, in a great transition basket there for the Hanson Beavers, as you're right, all the momentum on their side at the moment.
I don't think there's too many coaches in the state of South Dakota or in the country who would recommend a one-handed pass, but if you can get it on point like that, like Marquardt did, they're not going to tell you don't do it, but that was just about as pretty as it gets there for Marquardt and Nichols in transition.
A Magic Johnson-like pass. He brought that into the NBA back in the early 80s, and players have been doing it ever since.
3:25 left to go here in the first half. Patriots on the drive, tough shot, but a nice finish for Landon Gatsky.
And that's his first points of the game. And the Patriots desperately needed that bucket.
3:09 left to go here in the first half. Three tipped. Nichols with the rebound, spin move rejected by Oxley.
Oh, the big man for the Patriots making a play there.
Quite a battle going on in the interior between those two bigs. Drive, stop, they'll kick it back outside. Gatsky works around the screen from Knipling. Drives in, floats it, off the iron, no good, tipped, and into the hands of the Beavers.
I tell you what, Vandersto's been doing a pretty good job on the glass tonight for Hanson.
2:34 left to go in the first half. They've got it at the top of the key, Vandersto. Trying to slow it down now into the hands of Zenz. There's a bucket for Hanson. They're just motoring along here right now, and it's now an 11-point lead.
I think somebody lost track of Zenz. There was a mix-up on the switch, and he was just wide open.
Hanson just playing with a boatload of confidence right now. Hitchcock-Tulare, the team that looked supremely confident yesterday out of all 8 teams, and today they look a bit out of sorts here against this Hanson defense.
Bixler at the line, 76% on the season.
First attempt is good for Bixler at the stripe.
Remember, Gatsky had 11 points in the final 2 minutes of their regional win. He's only scored the 1 bucket, but if he gets hot, he can light it up in a hurry.
Bixler, second attempt no good. They're now 2 of 3 from the line here in the first half. Zenz will bring it up for the Beavers. He's at the top of the key. Handing it off to Anandi, who's been a bit quiet. Marquardt's been hot, though. There's another 3. Head coach Josh Oltmans just steps back and says, hey, boys, go play. He's having to do very little coaching right now. He has gotten this team very prepared for this level of play. Nice pass from Oxley. That shot rejected, but Nichols is going to pick up the foul.
That'll be his second.
Josh Oltmans with a bit of a half-hearted smile there as he looks on at the officials. And they're going to get Nichols out of the game to avoid the quick number 3. Not a bad decision there to get the big man out, even if it is for the final minute 40 of this first half, as that shot kisses off the glass and goes in.
Yeah, and you got a 12-point lead with a minute 40 left, and Lane Kessler is going to come in to replace him. 6'1", provides you some interior play, but you know, you can afford to sit Nichols here for the final minute 40 if you're Hanson.
Shot off the iron, no good, tipped and kept alive by the Patriots. This is where they need to start to make their run. That's an opportunity right there. Floater, no good off the iron, but another quick foul coming up. We'll have to see who this is on. They're going to get that on Hanson's Jordan Marquardt.
That'll be his first foul. Not in the act of shooting. 16 fouls on Hanson.
Inbound for the Patriots. Again, no real rush to their offense right now. Up, or rather down, I should say, by 12. Bixler steps back, picks up his dribble, finds Knipling. Pass to the baseline, driving inside. Hofer with the layup. Nice play.
They went inside with Nichols on the bench. But still a 10-point lead for Hanson. So again, they can take their time, maybe take a little air out of the basketball here in the waning moments of quarter number 2.
If they can keep it a double-digit lead heading into the halftime break, Hanson would be feeling pretty good about themselves here. They can milk a lot of time off this clock.
And Hanson has their 3 guards on the floor with Marquardt, Zenz, and Wanandi. So if they want to pull it out to the perimeter and just dance out there for a bit, they can, but they're not gonna.
Wanandi's shot's no good. Marquardt tried to keep it alive. It goes out of bounds. The coaching staff for Hitchcock-Tulare wanted an over the back call, didn't get it. Kenny Heater in the ears of the officials on the other end here with under 40 seconds left to go.
A few years ago, Kenny Heater took the Patriots to the championship game, lost to White River in a close one.
Three is no good. Oxley fighting inside, and he drew some contact from behind. I believe this will be on Hanson's Lane Kessler, and it is.
That is his second. So we're going to get a reserve, and they're going to put Nichols back in here. And with 31 seconds, you figure, yeah, he's out there with 2 fouls, but you figure you're probably going to play for the last shot.
Well, yeah, I doubt he'll even get an opportunity back on defense here, depending on what happens. Now, it's important, obviously, that Hanson boxes out and doesn't allow this squad to get a rebound, and they nearly did. It goes out of bounds, and in fact, it will stay with the Patriots. And the head coach, Josh Oltmans for Hanson, and his coaching staff saying that the big guy got pushed out of bounds and never really even had a chance to get his foot down to get the rebound.
So now Nichols will have to play defense as Oxley triggers.
Oxley inside, shot too strong. Nichols doing a great job not committing too much defensively there, but another offensive board for the Patriots.
The Patriots have been fighting hard here. Now they've got a chance for the final shot. 12 seconds and counting.
Bixler at the top of the key will set things up. He crosses over on Winandi, splits 2 defenders, nearly lost it, gets it to the corner. Shot off the glass, no good. And that's how your first half comes to an end. Hanson all over Hitchcock-Tulare as we head into the halftime break. 23-13. We'll be back with more coverage of the boys' state championships in a moment on South Dakota Public Broadcasting.
Free statewide. This South Dakota High School Sports Championship is underwritten by the thousands of members of the Friends of South Dakota Public Broadcasting, by Mid-Continent Communications, and by Dakota Bank.
Back inside the Barnett Center, it's halftime, and Hanson leading Hitchcock-Tulare 23-13. Before we get to some halftime stats, we need to hand out some awards here on this semifinal Friday. Let's send it over to our public address announcer, Mr. Jim Apple, for the introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, could we have your attention, please? Tonight, the South Dakota Basketball Coaches Association will induct a member into the South Dakota Basketball Coaches Association Hall of Shrine. Tonight's recipient is John Papendick of Aberdeen. John Papendick has spent his entire life covering sports in South Dakota. He wrote his first newspaper story in 1976. He has worked as a sports editor at weekly newspapers, the Mitchell Daily Republic and the Aberdeen American News. He has been at the Aberdeen American News for the last 30 years, where he is the managing news and sports editor. He has won a variety of national, regional, and statewide awards during his career. Accompanying John tonight is his grandson, Ethan. Here to present John and his plaque is Lynn Frederick, Executive Secretary of the South Dakota Basketball Coaches Association. Congratulations, John. Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Tonight, the South Dakota High School Coaches Association is proud to present its 25-year coaching award. The award recipient will receive a plaque from the South Dakota High School Coaches Association for dedicating 25 years of service to the coaching field. Joe Ock, Assistant Executive Director of the South Dakota High School Activities Association, will present the award. Tonight's 25-year award is Randy Poole from Sully Buttes. Randy began his coaching career in T in 1988, where he coached junior high boys basketball. He then moved to Montrose, where he was assistant girls basketball coach, later becoming the head coach. He was also the assistant boys basketball coach and assistant volleyball coach. His boys team won the state Class B boys golf tournament that year. He has had teams finish in the top 8 every year. He is also the head volleyball coach, accumulating 206 wins in his 10-year tenure. He has taken 3 teams to the state tournament, finishing 7th, 5th, and 4th. He was named the Class B Golf Coach of the Year in 2009-2010. He was also named the Class B Assistant Boys Basketball Coach of the Year in 2012-2013. He coached the North All-Star Golf Team in 2010 at the All-Star Games in Aberdeen. Coach Poole can boast that he coached 5 different sports at state tournaments during his 25 years. Congratulations to Randy Poole. Good evening. Each year, the South Dakota High School Activities Association is proud to present its Distinguished Service Award to individuals who have made a significant contribution to the furtherance of high school activities in our state. The recipients of this award exemplify the very highest ideals of service to the association and the youth of our state. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with deepest gratitude that the South Dakota High School Activities Association Distinguished Service Award is being presented this evening to Rick Weber. Rick Weber of the South Dakota High School Activities Association Board of Directors will make this presentation. Tonight's Distinguished Service recipient is Mike Miller, a lifelong resident of Aberdeen. Mike served on the Aberdeen School District Board of Education for 13 years. He was elected to the South Dakota High School Activities Association Board of Directors in 2013. He was a football official for over 20 years, officiating numerous playoff games and several State B, State A, and AA championship games. Accepting this award in honor of Mike are his children, Mikkel, and his brother Pat, and his wife Janice. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Miller. A more complete resume of the services of the Distinguished Service Award recipients can be found in the state tournament program. The other South Dakota High School Activities Association Distinguished Service Award recipient for the 2014-2015 school year will receive their awards at other South Dakota high school events, state athletic, music, and speech activities this year.
As we continue with this one, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll get you set up for the second half with some highlights, some stats, and a whole lot more. The Class B Boys State Basketball Championships continue after this on South Dakota Public Broadcasting.
Free statewide broadcast of this South Dakota High School Championship event is brought to you in part by the thousands of members of the Friends of South Dakota Public Broadcasting, by Farmers Union Insurance, by SDN Communications, and by the Independent Insurance Agents of South Dakota.
Back inside the Barnett Center. It's the end of halftime. Let's take a quick look at those first half stats, Steve, and get everybody geared up for the third quarter of action.
Hanson from the floor, 9 of 24 for 37%. Hitchcock-Tulare cold, just 5 of 23 for 22%. Hitchcock-Tulare, no three-pointers. Hanson hit 3 of them. Neither team got to the free throw line a whole lot. Hitchcock-Tulare holding even on the rebounding side with 18 apiece. 4 turnovers for both teams as well. Jordan Marquardt on his birthday, 13 points leading the way at halftime. The only player on either team with double figures. 4 for Jared Zenz, 2 each for Taylor Nichols, who also has 9 rebounds, 2 for Sam Vanderstow, 2 for Aaron Winandi. 5 points for Tyler Oxley leading the way for the Patriots. 3 each for Trevor Hofer and Chase Bixler, 2 points for Landon Gatsky. That's all the scoring in the first half for Hitchcock-Tulare.
It will be Hitchcock-Tulare to get the ball out of the halftime break. Glad that you're able to join us here on South Dakota Public Broadcasting, and what a start. Oxley with a beautiful pass inside to Bixler. Good way to get your comeback started if you're the Patriots.
Yeah, that's what they needed. Find some way to score inside. Remember, Nichols out there with 2 fouls.
Shot from the corner on the way, no good. Vanderstow couldn't get it to fall, and it'll be the Patriots off and running. Again, from left to right on your screen in white, the Hitchcock-Tulare Patriots and the Hanson Beavers wearing their blue uniforms here this evening. That pass contested, but a nice job by Knipling to keep it alive. Inside, Oxley going to work. Turn around to the right-handed shot, and he stuffed it.
Stuck ball. Well, that one unfortunately doesn't count. We get a little cheer from the Patriot faithful. Alternating possession will go to Hanson.
Great crowd on hand here tonight. Senator John Thune has just entered the building from the main entrance area and is being greeted by some fans in the stands. We've got some South Dakota royalty, if you will, in hand here tonight, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We expect a lot of familiar faces in the crowd as the weekend rolls along, and this should be a dandy of a finish here between these two teams to kick off the semifinal portion of our bracket. Ball into the right wing.
Patriots staying man-to-man.
Just under 7 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Vanderstow caught in a little bit of a tussle there at the free throw line. Gatsky wasn't able to get his hands on it cleanly, though, and the Beavers will reset their offense. 6:40 left to go here in this third quarter.
In the first half, Hanson really pushed the pace.
Nichols really doing a good job trying not to get too aggressive inside there. They had his hands ripped away not once but twice. The officials didn't call it. Unfortunate there for Nichols, but a lucky break for the Patriots, and they're right back in it.
The Patriots are a very deliberate team. They'll run the half-court offense. They want to keep this game in the 40s.
Patriots getting things going at the top of the key. That ball tipped away into the hands of Marquardt, and they want to push it in transition. Marquardt crosses over, now gets to the left side of the paint. His floater in and out, no good.
Well, that was a good-looking shot, too, just halfway down and fell out. Again, Hanson, they can work the half-court offense, and of course, with a big guy like Nichols, they're very astute at it, but generally tonight, given a chance, they wanted to push the pace, and there's an offensive foul.
They're going to get Hitchcock-Tulare's Trevor Hofer as he lowered the shoulder and slammed into the big man. Nichols doing a great job and getting a little extra motivation there from his head coach, Josh Oltmans, as you get a look at the make there on the other end, but again, it was called the charge. Now it'll be Hanson on the charge here, up 23-15.
Kessler to the bench and Aaron Zenz in, so a smaller, quicker lineup on the floor for Hanson.
Beavers getting into Zenz. Winandi. That's Marquardt with the ball, bringing it up near the half-court line.
And ironically, they got Oxley guarding Zenz, the tallest player on the floor for the Patriots, is shadowing the shortest player for Hanson. They got Hofer matched up against Nichols.
And that ball alive. Not a bad decision ultimately by the Patriots. They kept Oxley basically free there to get the rebound on the other end. Zenz, nothing he could do about it.
No, Zenz tried to go up for that rebound. He almost got it.
Ball into the left wing. Bixler up to the top of the key. Gatsky, three, no good.
Vanderstow's been doing a good job on the glass tonight. There's another rebound for him.
He goes to the other end. Winandi called for the travel, though, as he went towards the hoop, and we've got immediate timeout on the floor. 4:55 left to go in the third quarter. Hanson in the semifinals leading Hitchcock-Tulare. We'll be back with more in a moment on South Dakota Public Broadcasting. Back inside the Barnett Center, Class B Boys State Basketball Tournament coverage. I'm J.J. Hardigan, voice of the Sioux Falls Canaries, along with South Dakota Public Broadcasting Steve Toom. We're delighted to have you here for this one, as Hanson really from start to finish has dominated this game against Hitchcock-Tulare, but the Patriots with a bucket underneath, crawling their way back into this one, Steve, and right now just a 6-point game.
Yep. Hanson yet to score in this third quarter.
4:30 left to go. Marquardt, who's been the story of this game so far today for the Hanson Beavers, getting it into the right wing. Now Zenz open at the top of the key, off the backside of the iron, and I believe a push from behind. They're going to get Hitchcock-Tulare's Trevor Hofer.
That'll be his third personal foul. Not a whole lot lot of fouls called in this game.
Pretty well-balanced matchup here thus far with 4:18 left to go as Marquardt in the left wing brings it up near the top of the key. They get it into the right wing. Wanandi wants it, gets it into the corner. Marquardt's three, rattles in and out. And another nice rebound by Hofer, who's actually done a very good job here today against Nichols overall.
Yep, he's held Nichols in check pretty much. Nichols with only 2 points. Yesterday he had 28 points, 18 rebounds.
Under 4 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Gatsky, top of the key, launches it and knocks it down. 3-point game inside the Barnett Center. And a timeout called by Hanson. Listen to that crowd, Steve. Hitchcock-Tulare's fans really starting to get their engines rolling for the first time here tonight.
Yeah, the Hitchcock-Tulare fans all wearing the red shirts tonight in their student section and in the parent section. Check it out, Gatsky. This is the first three-pointer of the game for the Patriots. Top of the key, behind that white arc, I think he was. Remember, we got 2 3-point lines on the court. The dark line is the high school line. The white line is the college line, and we saw that last week at the girls' tournament. Sometimes the players, they'll see one line, and they won't see the inside line, knowing that's their line. We saw a bunch of shots missed last week at the girls' tournament because I think some players got some confused. I've seen that actually here today, too.
Taking a look at Hitchcock-Tulare's numbers, that was, as you mentioned, just their first made three of the night. They are 1 of 7 from long distance. The real struggle, though, today, Steve, at the free throw line, just 3 of 6. Hanson perfect from the stripe. Got to make your free throws down the stretch if you want to contend for a title.
Yeah, neither team's really gotten to the free throw line a whole lot. 2 team fouls on Hitchcock-Tulare, none so far on Hanson. But Hanson's got to find a way to get Nichols involved.
Yeah, taking a look at his numbers right now, he has 10 rebounds, just 2 points. He's doing his job in the interior defensively, but they have bottled him up when they get the ball in the hands of the Beavers. 3:25 left to go here in this third quarter. Zenz hands it off. Marquardt steps back. Now bouncing it inside. Nichols double teamed. He spins, fades away, shot off the glass and good. Just pure determination from Taylor Nichols.
Yep, nice little fadeaway there. He was double teamed by the 2 big men for the Patriots and still found a way to get open enough to fire off a shot and use the window effectively.
Nichols got caught in the air. Oxley with a nice head fake, caught the big man in midair and went back up. Nichols alertly lays off and doesn't pick up his 3rd foul. And Marquardt getting it to the point guard, Zenz. Wanandi for 3, no good. And the ball is loose. The officials getting an earful from Hanson's head coach, Josh Altmans. He wanted a foul. There was no call. The Beavers will keep it underneath their own hoop, but this game getting a little chippy in the interior.
See what the Beavers do here. Wanandi's been relatively silent.
3 on the way, no good from the right wing. Vanderstow couldn't get it to go. His rebound and putback denied, but he'll have 2.
Let's see who catches that foul. I think it's going to be on Chase Bixler. That's just his first. Very physical play going for the rebounds. An alert play by Vanderstow to just take that one right back to the rack.
Free throw attempt on the way. Trickles off the right side of the iron, no good.
Vanderstow 79% on the year. This is his first trip to the charity stripe tonight.
That was Hanson's first miss from the free throw line. He goes 1 of 2 this trip around, and the squad now 3 of 4 overall. 26-22 your score, just under 2.5 left to go in the third.
3 team fouls on the Patriots.
3 on the way. Gatsky gets his fans back on their feet, and it's a 1-point game.
Same spot as before. Gatsky starting to heat up. We mentioned he scored 11 points in under 2 minutes at that regional final to help get the Patriots here to the state tournament.
Nichols wants it inside. Double team. Draws some separation. Gets the bucket to go. They did not get the call there. Boston Knipling tried to draw the charge to no avail.
Might have been a little acting there, but it was a worthwhile effort by Knipling to try to draw that third foul.
Drive inside. Bixler back to the top of the key to Gatsky. He's the hot hand, spins. Brings it back out around the screen. Now back to Bixler, who resets the offense with 1:22 left to go.
Man-to-man here for Hanson defensively. You've got Gatsky matched up against Marquardt.
Bixler looking inside. Gatsky off of Marquardt, a little shove from both players. They're going to call the foul, though, on Marquardt, and that will be his second.
First team foul against Hanson comes with 1:11 left to go, third quarter of play.
1:11 left to go as they get it inside. Correction, outside, I should say. The three from Gatsky, no good, but it's tipped out of bounds. Last touched by the Beavers.
Yep, Gatsky nearly out of bounds when he launched that three-point shot.
28-25 your score. Bixler up to the top of the key, now swinging it around. Oxley posting up, right side of the paint, spins, little shutter move, and it falls off, but he gets his own rebound. Nichols got thrown to the ground, no call away from the ball, and it's a one-point game. Hanson with the lead and the possession with under a minute to go in the third.
See if the Beavers will hold for the final shot or just run their normal offense. Most Class B teams, they'll fire a shot. They don't need a shot clock. They'll fire it within 25, 30 seconds.
Zenz to the free throw line. Hands it off to Wanandi. Now back to Marquardt. Launching the three. In and out. No good. It'll be Bixler to bring it up. Nichols bleeding from the mouth as he heads back down. Oxley goes up. Contact. The shot. No good. Nichols was holding his mouth all the way down to the other end. Got back in transition. Some contact from behind, and look at that crowd for Hitchcock-Tulare. They're ready to blow the roof off this building tonight, the way that this team has battled back in the third quarter.
Vanderstoel, foul number 2 for Hanson.
Hitchcock-Tulare has outscored the Hanson Beavers 14-5 in this third quarter. Here's a look at the replay. The shot is good, and contact brings up the foul.
So play from earlier tonight.
Might have been the charge earlier on there. And that one will tie it up. Hitchcock-Tulare and Hanson tied at 28 with 15 3/10 of a second left to go in the quarter.
Grayson Binger into the game, along with Keegan Mallon here for the final possession. So some of the starters on the bench for the Patriots here get a few extra seconds of rest.
Marquardt into the front court to Wanandi. Marquardt launches the long-distance shot just off the mark. And we head into the fourth quarter the way we came into this game, all tied up. 28 all your score. Back with more in the fourth quarter after this on South Dakota Public Broadcasting. Inside the Barnett Center, 28 all your scores. We head into the fourth quarter. There's Senator John Thune with his dad and Hal watching on in anticipation as this one tight into the fourth quarter. We're all tied up at 28.
Both teams pretty even percentage-wise from the floor.
Shot inside is good. Single-handedly, Oxley has willed his team back into the lead. 30-28 with 7.5 minutes to play.
Hitchcock-Tulare outscored Hanson 15-5 in that third quarter. The field goal percentage is 32 for Hanson, 34 for Hitchcock-Tulare. Hanson's hit 3 3-pointers on 17 attempts, 2 of 9 for the Patriots from beyond the arc.
Zenz, top of the key, dribbles, gets some separation, shoots that over Oxley's outstretched hands. Nichols with the offensive board, goes up, the bucket is good. They will count it, and the foul. Nichols to the line to try to complete it the old-fashioned way.
And that is going to be the 4th personal foul on Trevor Hofer of the Patriots. Check it out again. Look at him just go up for it. Just Too strong, Taylor Nichols.
You could see Nichols growl as he picked up the ball after that power dribble. He was not going to be denied. Heck of an effort there from the big man.
Early lead for Hanson in this fourth quarter of play.
7 minutes left to go here in regulation, and a timeout called on the floor. Patriots want the timeout. It will be a full timeout.
Update from the AA tournament. Third quarter action early on. Sioux Falls, Washington leading Rapid City Stevens 32-29. Stats here, rebounding. Hitchcock-Tulare with the edge there, 25-23 at the moment. Turnovers, 9 for the Patriots, 7 for Hanson. And the field goal percentage pretty
Sorry,
even.
Steve, didn't mean to interrupt you there. We got a great look at the Hanson bench here. They've had to deal with some adversity in the second half. And head coach Josh Oltman's really making sure that everybody is on the same page here as we come back to the play.
Hitchcock-Tulare, 2 timeouts left. Hanson with 4 timeouts left. 2 team fouls on Hanson, 4 team fouls on the Patriots. This has been a back and forth affair. And what a third quarter charge by the Patriots to even this ball game up as they were down at halftime by 10.
And again, this is just the semifinals. It has a feel of a state championship. These two teams playing like they are in the title game, and again on the line, a chance to go to that title game tomorrow night. 6:50 left to go.
I'll tell you what, semifinal Friday, you got 4 teams playing in the night, each of them dreaming to get to that big game, and we got a foul.
Gatsky will head to the line here after getting some contact. Marquardt working the defense, but gets called for the foul.
That will be his third team foul. Gatsky came alive in that third quarter with 2 big threes.
First free throw attempt is good for Gatsky.
Good look at Coach Kenny Heater of the Patriots. He's been to the big game before.
Second one rims in and out. Nichols with the rebound. Here comes Marquardt and company into the front court, and he will slow it down as he looks to the bench. They get their play set up here with 6.5 minutes left to go.
Yeah, Marquardt's really been the point forward tonight. Well, last night, Wanandi was doing the point guard duties.
Nichols inside, double team, gets it back outside. Marquardt for 3, no good. The rebound is picked up by the Patriots. Hofer tried to pull it away, but they get Vanderstoe for the foul.
And for Vanderstoe, that is his 3rd personal foul.
6:17 left to go in regulation. This one could very well come down to the wire. We're all tied up at 31. Ball into the hands of the Patriots, taken away. Wanandi coast to coast for the right-handed finish.
We just mentioned him a moment ago how he's been relatively quiet. That time, Wanandi makes the play defensively.
Under 6 minutes left to go. Patriots with the ball, down by 2. You can hear these Hanson fans really starting to get into it. Ball in the right wing, Bixler handing it off to Gatsky, and now Bixler wants it back.
You bet the pace of the game very much favoring Hitchcock-Tulare, and I think Nichols just got tagged for a foul away from the basketball, and he did.
Yeah, he was posting up with Oxley inside, and those two have had a vicious battle going on all game long this time. Nichols maybe lost his cool a little bit there and had a tug of the jersey from Oxley, but that'll be just his 3rd as the shot goes up and good underneath for Trevor Hofer.
He was a little out of control, but somehow he got it to go off the window.
Marquardt with the one-handed pass to Zenz. Into the left wing, tipped, and it will stay Hanson ball, but a dangerous pass there. Now they'll have to inbound it there in front of the band area.
Hanson scores 64 points a game at the moment. Way under their average, but again, that favors the Patriots. The Patriots prefer low-scoring games.
Marquardt has it in the left wing. 5:08 left to go. Inside, Nichols, contact and the bucket. Nichols staring down the defense as he heads to the line. He and Trevor Hofer locked eyes there for a moment, and you could see the fury from Nichols. And he's still barking at him.
Boston Knipling, foul number 1 for the Patriots.
The official had to step in there and ask Nichols to settle down for a moment, but the energy evident as he makes the free throw. Under 5 minutes left to go in regulation. Hanson leads by 3. The drive and some contact as Hofer went in for the layup.
2 free throws coming up here. I think that's Jared Zenz. That's only his first. Hofer on the year, just 44% at the charity stripe.
Taking a look at some of the numbers, at least what they have on the board in the arena right now. Wanandi with 1 foul. Zenz has 2. The rest of the boys for Hanson have 3. Look at Marquardt with 3. Vanderstow with 3. And Nichols with 3. Hofer makes his first. Fouls have been mounting a bit. Hanson does not have one to give. Their next foul will put the Patriots at the line in a 1-and-1 situation. Hitchcock-Tulare does have one to give as that free throw falls through, and we've got immediate timeout on the floor. Hanson with the 1-point edge over the Patriots. We'll be back with more in a moment. This is the Class B State Championships on South Dakota Public Broadcasting. Back inside the Barnett Center, and it is getting loud again. These fans are loving it here in Aberdeen. It's March Madness, to be sure.
Yeah, why not? How could you not love this kind of game? Defensive game, tight scoring. We're coming down to the wire here.
4:41 left to go. Marquardt holding the rock near half court. Gets it to Zenz. Zenz with some separation from the defense. Instead kicks it out. Wanandi for 3. No good, but Zenz tracks it down.
Yep, nobody found Zenz out there.
Zenz back to the top of the key. Wanandi's going to slow it down now. As he crosses over to his left hand. Zenz wide open. His 3 off the backside of the iron. And it'll be the Patriots who come up with the rebound. Knipling brings it down for Hitchcock-Tulare.
Had the wide open look, just couldn't fall.
Oxley out around the perimeter looking inside. Instead steps up. Long 18-footer is good. And Hitchcock-Tulare back out in front by 1.
Would think they'd try to find Nichols in the paint somehow.
They've had him bottled up. 3 defenders in the lane basically the entire game. And an offensive foul is going to be called on Sam Vanderstow.
That is his 4th.
7th team foul, more importantly, for the Hanson Beavers. So a 1-and-1 situation coming up on their next foul. But again, they cannot afford to lose any of these 5 out on the floor. They do not go very deep off their bench. Shot no good. Nichols had the rebound and got hit from behind. It'll be Oxley who picks it up, and he's just picked up his 2nd.
Yep, Oxley has done his job tonight. He's scored 14 points, but more importantly, he has stayed out of foul trouble in that interior defense for Hitchcock-Tulare. They've bottled up Nichols for the most part, although he has come alive here in the second half.
3.5 minutes to decide who goes to the title game. Hanson has led most of the way, but find themselves down by 1. Ball into the hands of Nichols. His shot is blocked, and an offensive foul called on Nichols.
Yep, the elbow got it out there. That's his 4th personal foul. So, tell you what, this is high drama here in the Barnett Center.
Fans are telling the story right now with all the noise they are making. It's hard to even hear yourself think at the moment as Gatsky dances around and now slows it down at the top of the key. Gatsky gets it into the hands of Knipling. Bixler, quick pass to Oxley inside. He fakes, turns around, shot is good. Nichols couldn't commit too much defensively because of his 4 fouls. And a brilliant play by Oxley as his squad now leads by 3. Nichols outside. Vanderstow for 3. Good! What an answer for Hanson as they tie it up on the big 3.
30-second timeout by Hanson.
Unbelievable back and forth basketball between these two teams. Just pure heart and determination out on the floor. You'd have to flip a coin to try to figure out who wins this one. It's going to come down to the wire here tonight in Aberdeen.
Update for you, late third quarter score. Sioux Falls, Washington leads Rapid City Stevens 49-39 at the AA tournament. Field goal percentages here, Hitchcock-Tulare much better. At one point in the game, they were at 18%. Now they're at 41%. Here's Nichols, there's the turn, there's the elbow. Yep, that's an offensive foul. He's going to stay out there with the 4 fouls in 2:27. Now watch the angle that Oxley uses the glass. That is not an easy shot, ladies and gentlemen. He was close to the baseline and uses the window. There's Vanderstow. You bet. Huge 3 here.
2:22 left to go as we get back to action. Oxley, left wing, steps up, fakes the shot, hands it off. Bixler, no good. Nichols fighting for it, got hit from behind. Oxley with the foul, that'll be number 3 for him. And he threw the ball into the stands. The officials initially were going to make Oxley go get it. They didn't call him for delay of game, which they easily could have done. The officials understand, though, how much energy and just pure adrenaline these guys are running off of right now. Sometimes those little things go by the wayside. I doubt it was malicious by Oxley. He's just feeling the moment more than anything else as Nichols holds up the hand for good measure on his first make.
62% on the season for Taylor Nichols.
And again, these free throws wouldn't even be able to get them back into a tie or the lead had Vanderstow not hit that 3 a moment ago. That might be one of the biggest shots for Hanson this entire tournament. And for Nichols, he's given his squad now a 2-point lead after the free throws. Nice pass inside. They're going to wave off the shot. And we will have a foul and a 1-and-1 situation coming up for Oxley. They're going to pick up the foul on Hanson, Sam Vanderstow. And I believe he's just fouled out of tonight's game.
He did. Finishes the night with just 6 points, 7 under his average. So Kessler is going to come in to replace him. So a big offensive weapon gone now for Hanson.
And again, a reminder, Nichols has 4 fouls. He's living dangerously being out there at the moment as well. Shot, tipped, alive. Oxley fighting for it. Bodies flying everywhere. It's the Patriots who come away with it. Gatsky's floater, no good. Recovered by Marquardt. He restores some order here for the Hanson Beavers.
Marquardt wanted to race down the court, but instead he let the traffic pass him by because Hanson's got the lead. Now they can take some air out of the basketball.
Marquardt has been quiet in the second half. Shot, no, they're going to wave it off. It's a travel as Nichols went inside, and Nichols reminding the officials, or at least trying to get in their ears and saying, hey, they're flopping underneath. Here's another look.
Yep, tried the spin.
Nichols had a point. There was definitely some acting going on there, but he did travel as he went inside, and so a good no call ultimately on the charge, and they got the call right with the travel as Hitchcock-Tulare takes the timeout.
What a game it has been. And don't forget, our broadcasting crew will be on the road to Sioux Falls next weekend as we'll cover the South Dakota High School All-State Band Concerts. SDPB will provide a live webcast of the state concerts next Saturday, live from O'Gorman High School. And then we'll present the concerts on SDPB television on SDPB1 on April the 18th. That's a Saturday at 8 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Mountain Time.
Getting some great looks from our camera crew getting into the inside of these huddles. There's the Hanson squad going over their game plan with head coach Josh Oltmans. We've got a minute 27 left to go. Just a 2-point game. I tell you what, just about every game in this B tournament has been exciting. This is by far the most even playing field of any of the three boys tournaments this weekend in South Dakota. And everybody's definitely getting their money's worth here inside the Barnett Center tonight.
Absolutely. Let's reset the situation. 19 fouls on Hanson. Next foul on the Beavers, it's the double bonus. 17 fouls on the Patriots. 1 timeout left for the Patriots. 3 timeouts left for Hanson.
41-39 your score. Inbound going to the top of the key to Bixler. Gatsky will swing it. Hofer now back to Bixler. They look inside. Bixler stops near the free throw line. His floater is good. Tie ball game.
Now if you're Hanson, there's 1:10 and counting left. That's a lot of time to kill if you want to play for the last shot.
Wanandi nearly had his pass stolen away. Marquardt alertly gets it back to the top of the key. They have time on their side. They just cannot afford the turnover right now. Tie game. Hanson can essentially run this clock down to zeros if they want. Wanandi to Zenz. Zenz back to Marquardt. Now that they are under 40 seconds, you basically have to go for the last shot, but you don't want to leave too much time on the clock for the Patriots.
Hanson with their 3 guards on the court. So they have some speed, and they have the ball handlers out there to run out the clock if they want to.
Marquardt nearly tripped as he stepped on Gatsky's foot. He keeps it alive, though, down to 15 seconds. They've milked 45, now 50 seconds off the clock. They will bring up an extra defender. Oxley backs off. Now another defender comes up. Marquardt steps in between 2 defenders. He travels. And the Patriots will have a chance to win it. Great job by Hitchcock-Tulare to close down on the gaps as he drove inside the lane.
Timeout Patriots. They spend their last one.
We said this was going to come down to the last second. We've got a nail-biter for you here inside the Barnett Center.
Hanson rather, I think, took a little too long before they put that final play in motion. In the defense for the Patriots, they saw the time. Remember, there's clocks on both ends of the court, so Bixler and Gatsky, they're watching the clock over the head of Marquardt, and they know he's got to go, so the double team collapsed, and that really forced that turnover there. Marquardt just ran into a crowd and got into trouble.
Ideally, I think Hanson would have liked to give and go, have Marquardt pass it, get it right back into the hands of Marquardt. Didn't work out that way, and ultimately now they're going to have to try to put up a good defensive stand. If you're Nichols, you don't want to foul here, because if you do, you foul out, and it could take away your chances of playing overtime if you get there. So now you basically have to fight just to get the stop, but the big man will be covering the trigger man underneath the Hanson hoop, so they've got some size to try to block Knipling as he brings it in.
Yep, and the Patriots have the length of the floor to go in 2.3 seconds.
Hail Mary pass across half court. Oxley has it. The shot at the buzzer, no good, and we go to overtime. Gatsky had a decent look, but it was a long one. Oh my goodness, we have had some fun here on semifinal Friday. We're going to get some free basketball here inside the Barnett Center. Just to tell you how intense and how even this fourth quarter was, both teams, Steve, scored 13 points in the final quarter, and that after Hitchcock-Tulare outscored Hanson 15-5 in the third quarter. Hitchcock-Tulare definitely has momentum on their side. Hanson was able to hold on, and now we're going to have to hold on to our seats for 4 extra minutes.
16 points for Oxley, leading the way for the Patriots. 14 points for Nichols, leading the way for the Beavers. Marquardt with 13, but Marquardt hasn't scored since the second quarter.
Well,
4 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, we will get a tip at center court again. It'll be Nichols against Oxley, that big battle that we've seen all night long, and the 2 big men go toe-to-toe once more. It will be won by the Patriots.
Remember, Vanderstoel's fouled out for the Beavers. Hanson staying man-to-man.
They're going to go to Oxley. They're going to tempt Nichols and try to get him to foul out of this game. Not a bad game plan, as Bixler gets it in the left wing.
Oh, Knipling slipped out there, nearly lost his footing.
Hofer inside. Oxley partially blocked, and a nice play there by Nichols. He lived dangerously, but alertly kept his hands straight up, did not create contact.
That was a great play by Nichols defensively. Provided some defensive pressure, but avoided the foul. We got Andrew Aaron into the game, number 5 for Hanson.
Yeah, he's the first cousin of Jordan Marquardt, so a little bit of a family connection out there for Hanson. Nichols looking inside, kind of waiting in the wings as Marquardt milks down the clock again.
Yep, they've got Boston Knipling guarding him, but Oxley is shadowing Zenz kind of on the floor so he can hold back and provide some extra defensive presence.
Zenz gets it inside. Marquardt triple teamed, and now the defense kind of fading away as Marquardt goes back inside. He picks up his dribble. He's in a lot of trouble. They get it away. That pass nearly taken. Zenz using his bursting speed to get the ball back.
Oh, a heads-up play by Zenz. That ball was out in the open for anybody, but Zenz racing after the pass was Johnny on the spot. Hanson calls timeout.
2:26 left to go. Neither team has scored yet here in the first minute and 34 seconds of overtime.
Update from the AA. There are about 5 minutes left to go, fourth quarter. Washington pulling away from Rapid City Stevens. 57-41 at the moment.
Get a great look inside the huddle again here is what Josh Altmans wants to do with his squad. And you see the starting 5 looking on anxiously for the Patriots as their head coach, Kenny Heater, goes over their game plan on the other end as well. But this has been a fun one here tonight. I don't know that we'll even have this decided in one overtime, Steve.
I wouldn't be surprised. And we were going to talk about overtimes tonight because we got Langford and White River coming up. Last year at the state tournament, they went 5 overtimes in a consolation game. Tonight they play in the championship bracket. And you got to know the fans for the Lions and the Tigers haven't forgotten about that one. We could have a long night here in Aberdeen because I tell you what, I know the next game's going to be good, but this one has just been fantastic so far, and we're a long way from done.
Hope you've got your popcorn ready. 41 all your score with 2:22 left to go. Zenz gets it up to the top of the key. They swing it into the left wing. Little used Aarons over there in the corner. He was open momentarily, now gets the ball. Not in any real rush, though, as they get it to Marquardt. Back to Aaron. Aaron could have easily taken it, but they want to get it back into the hands of the guards. 1:55 left to go now in overtime.
They're trying to get Nichols open in the middle, but that Patriot defense is just collapsing on them. And remember, with Vanderstow on the bench, fouled out, that's a three-point sniper that Hanson doesn't have. So that allows the Patriots to pack that defense into the paint because really their only outside scoring threat is Marquardt. Now Zenz can hit the outside shot, but he's being shadowed now by Bixler. So a quicker player now guarding Zenz.
They have 3 defenders hovering around Nichols at all times now. He's going to go from the high post and thought about going to the low post, but brings it right back to the free throw line.
If they want to get the ball to Marquardt, let's see here if they operate with Nichols. Yep, he's up on top there at the free throw line. Now he's going to step way outside to set a pick. See if they try the pick and roll.
Marquardt doesn't like what he sees from the defense. He'll bring it out again. 1:03 left to go. Nichols coming up to the top. Marquardt slow playing it here under a minute now. They've milked about a minute off the clock. Marquardt moves it to his right now, brings it back to the top of the key. No rush whatsoever. Again, no shot clock at the Class B level. Marquardt being guarded closely by Gatsky, brings it back around again. Nichols at the free throw line. Now Marquardt making his move into the left wing. Screen set up by Nichols. Marquardt playing great defense here. Now a timeout called. Knipling was all over Marquardt. 24 5/10 of a second remains, Steve, and Now you got to think that they're going to try to get down to about 5 seconds again before going into that offensive play.
Yep, Marquardt was about the most consecutive dribbling I've seen in a basketball game since Curly Neal and the Harlem Globetrotters. But a good job by the All-Stater to keep his dribble alive and not to induce that 5 count there. He kept moving. So now, Hanson still got 2 timeouts left. So if they get trouble on the inbounds play or after they inbounds the ball, as long as they maintain possession, if they get in trouble, they've got the timeouts to spend. Hitchcock-Tulare with 1 timeout here in this overtime period. But you got to figure they're going to maybe try to find Nichols in the paint or maybe Marquardt out on the 3-point arc.
If I'm the head coach, I love superstition. It's Marquardt's birthday. In my mind, it's his game to win for this squad. Put Nichols down in the low post, see if he can't get a rebound on the miss and tip it back. But you want to start the play with about 7 seconds left to go, so if you do get a miss, you have a chance for that put back instead of the clock expiring and then no chance in another overtime.
It's going to be Gatsky guarding Marquardt. See if he gets any help here.
Down to 10. Here's go time. They want another timeout. Josh Oltmans didn't like the defense the Patriots presented, and so Hanson with back-to-back timeouts. And now 8 3/10 of a second left on the clock. I got to think that they're going to get it to Marquardt. He might try to fake the 3, lob it inside, and let Nichols do their job. You could just see this Hanson squad surveying the defense from Hitchcock-Tulare. Based on what I saw there, that's probably what they're going to have to go with.
Yeah, a little bit of chess match here. Oltmans had the timeouts to work with, so he saw what Kenny Heater was doing defensively. Now, again, this is where you get the chess match. Does Kenny Heater change up his defensive scheme? Or does he stick with what he has gone with so far, which is basically mostly man-to-man so far with Gatsky guarding Marquardt. Now, coming out of the timeout, will the Patriots maybe try a trap, throw things off?
I would not be surprised at all to see Bixler or Gatsky try to intercept the inbound and take it to the other end of the court. The trigger man will be Wanandi for the Hanson Beavers. Here it comes. Nichols gets it. They hand it back to Wanandi. Wanandi, right side, drives, loses his footing, throws it up. It's good, and the clock will expire. They called the timeout. Hold the phone. Hitchcock-Tulare called a timeout, and they will have a chance. The officials will confer, but they pointed to the bench, and I believe they will put 1.1 seconds left on the clock.
Wanandi got in trouble. Let's check it out. He's being guarded by Hofer, who's got the 4 fouls, so he's got to be careful. He wants to pass, and he just squares up to the bucket, launches the mid-range jumper, and he connects. 1.7 seconds put on the clock. The Patriots will have the length of the floor to go. Now, I believe they spent their timeout. It's still showing 1 timeout. Now it's been changed, so the Patriots do not have a timeout to spend. Now remember, the last time they had to go down the length of the floor, Knipling threw a strong pass all the way down to the free throw line.
Yeah,
you got to figure Knipling will be the trigger man.
Yep, and Oxley was the one who received it. You got to think, instead of him handing it off like he did last time, turn around and fire it up. He can shoot from 18 feet away. Probably your best bet at this point, unless you can get it to one of your 3-point shooters. But again, 2 points ties it, 3 for the win. What do you do here in this situation, Steve? Do you go for the gut? Do you go for the win, or do you go for that second overtime?
Well, I think with this little time left, the only thing you can hope for is any sort of open shot. Doesn't matter if it's a 2 or 3. If you're Hitchcock-Tulare, you just got to get the ball in a position for one of your shooters to be able to square up and get any sort of decent shot.
I believe Hanson has just called a timeout, and they have.
Yep, they wanted to come out and see how the Patriots deployed. And a quick 30-second timeout called by Hanson. So again, the chess game continues here as Josh Oltmans. Okay, now he saw how the Patriots deployed. Now let's see if he reconfigures his defense. One would have to think with Nichols, the big man, do you put him down with his long arms up in front of the trigger man, or do you put him down by the free throw line to try to disrupt any pass coming down court.
He's the only one who can block Oxley's shot on the floor. You have to have him down there to try to protect him. That's exactly where he's going to go.
So they're going to put the speedier player Zenz in front of Knipling. You got now they're going to drop Zenz back.
Here's the pass into the front court, tipped by Nichols, tipped by Marquardt, and there's your final. Hanson going to the title game. What a finish here in Aberdeen. Your final 43-41. Hanson with the win.
A spectacular finish here inside the Barnett Center as the teams meet at center court to shake hands. We only had 2 points scored in the whole overtime. Hanson held the ball for what seemed like about 90% of the period as they were running down the clock. And in the end, it's Aaron Winandi who ends the night with 6 points. He hits the game-winning shot. The desperation attempt by the Patriots was tipped away by Nichols in the front court actually for the Patriots. And it's the Hanson Beavers moving on to the championship game. In a moment here, we're going to get a word with Josh Oltmans on this spectacular finish. Let's take a look at the last scoring play here when Nandi got in trouble, stopped, put it up over Hofer, and he connects. That is your game-winning bucket. J.J. Hartigan standing by with the winning coach. Let's send it to him.
Thanks, Steve. We're here with Josh Oltmans. And, Coach, take us through that last offensive play with Winandi right wing.
They've been all over Jordan all night, so we thought we'd try our other. Aaron's a heck of a ball player. He doesn't get a lot of press because he doesn't get a lot of points, but he's got that capability, and just happy for the kid right now.
Talk about the defensive play there. You guys saw what the Hitchcock-Tulare squad was doing there, called the extra timeout to set it up, and it worked to perfection.
Yeah, we did that yesterday against Wolsey, too. We wanted to see what they were going to run. They came out and ran something a little different. We knew they'd go full court. We just told our kids if we can get a tip ball, that's going to be enough for us to win it. We executed it nicely.
Heart beating a little bit?
I think it still is.
Coach, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's Josh Oltmans, the winning coach tonight for Hanson. On to the title game. We'll send it back to Steve for more at the scorer's table.
All right, thank you. Hanson on to the championship game. We'll take a timeout, come back with the post-game show. This is the Class B Boys Basketball Tournament on SDPB3, South Dakota Public Broadcasting.
Free statewide broadcast of this South Dakota High School Sports Championship is underwritten by the thousands of members of the Friends of South Dakota Public Broadcasting, by Mid-Continent Communications, and by Dakota Bank.
An overtime victory for the Hanson Beavers. They scored the only 2 points of overtime as they knock off the Patriots of Hitchcock-Tulare 43-41. Along with J.J. Hartigan, I'm Steve Toombs. Stats wrap for you here. Shooting percentages, pretty doggone even. 16 of 43 for Hanson, 16 of 41 for the Patriots. Both teams didn't make a whole lot of three-pointers, though Hanson had twice as many attempts. Neither team really got to the free throw line a whole lot. 87% for the Beavers and 54% for the Patriots. Rebounding pretty even. Turnovers pretty even as well. That's just kind of the sentiment for this game here. Leading scorer for Hanson was Taylor Nichols with 14 points, 16 rebounds, another double-double. 13 points for Jordan Marquardt, all in the first half. 6 for Aaron Winandi, including the game winner in overtime. 6 for Sam Vanderstow, and 4 for Jared Zenz. Meanwhile, for Hitchcock-Tulare, 16 points, 7 rebounds for Tyler Oxley. 9 points each for Landon Gansky and for Trevor Hofer. 7 for Chase Bixler on the night. Only 4 players scored for the Patriots. We were tied going into the fourth quarter. Both teams scored 13 points each and then 2 points in overtime. And we are being joined here at the broadcast location. We'll have them put the headsets on here. Senator John Thune. Senator, welcome to South Dakota Public Broadcasting. Good to see you.
Thank you. It's nice to be back.
Was that some sort of game or what?
That was a phenomenal game. This tournament, every year, last year they had, I guess, 5 overtimes when White River played Langford, but that was a really hard-fought game. 2 just really good teams going at it, and it's just a shame that anybody had to lose, but terrific for the fans. Great game to watch.
Now, were you talking strategy up there with your dad? Or are you going like, all right, who should get the ball? What defense? Zone or man? I mean, because that's such a, when you get an overtime situation like that, that's just human nature.
Well, we were trying to make predictions on how it was going to come out, what the teams might do, and my dad, who's at 95, still loves the game and still pays attention to all that, and so he's very, very engaged, and it's just fun to be able to be here and watch a game with him. He played in this tournament in 1937 here in Aberdeen, so it's a lot of years between then and now.
Obviously in a different building than we're in tonight.
That's right. In fact, the old Stafford Hall, I think he told me, it's on the campus here at Northern, but he said there were only seats on one side of the place, and but yeah, great memories.
And talking about memories, this used to be a 2-class system, and this, I believe, is the 30th tournament. 29 years ago, they switched to the 3-class systems. That was a system we had when I was in high school, and with yourself. With the 3-class system here, some people say maybe it lost the magic. I think there's a lot of energy and magic in the building tonight.
Absolutely, and I've been coming to this tournament a lot of years, and unfortunately never as a player, as a fan. But this is a great venue, and the teams come out, and the school, the way the community support their teams and these kids. It's really a special atmosphere.
I tell you what, we've got some. Let's go over some of the replays that we have here coming down the stretch here between Hanson and Hitchcock-Tulare. That man Oxley had a great night. He had 16 points, 7 rebounds. But here's Winandi getting the pass. That's Marquardt, the all-time scoring leader for Hanson, knocking down the tray.
He's had a great season. They had a great season as a team. And, of course, yesterday the big win over Wolsey-Wessington, an undefeated team, and then this one tonight. They got to be thrilled.
Look at the pass here to Oxley. This was just a thing of beauty.
Yeah, there was some great, distribution of the basketball. These teams both play well as teams. They look for the open player, and that's what makes basketball such a fun sport.
Here's Nichols, the nice pass to the outside. There's the jump shot there. That was Zenz who scored there. He did not start the game, but boy, he had some big buckets at times, and he had a couple big rebounds as well. I'd love to see the 5'9" kid get the rebound, and there's Vanderstow with the layup.
Yeah, they had some big performances from some kids off the bench too, but they're a really good, well-balanced team.
That one, Bixler got it back. I don't think they drew it up that way.
Hey, it works, right? It goes down. So.
Oh, I tell you what. Why don't we take a time out here? We'll come back and we'll continue our conversation with Senator John Thune in just a moment. You're watching the Class B Boys Basketball Tournament. This is SDPB3 South Dakota Public Broadcasting.
Free statewide broadcast of this South Dakota High School Championship event is brought to you in part by the thousands of members of the Friends of South Dakota Public Broadcasting, by Farmers Union Insurance, by SDN Communications, and by the Independent Insurance Agents of South Dakota.
Back at the Class B tournament. I'm Steve Thune talking with Senator John Thune, a basketball enthusiast who recently had an addition to your staff that a lot of basketball fans know, Katie Lingle, working for your office now.
Katie has been a great addition to the staff. She's got a great work ethic, as you would expect.
Yeah.
Great career at SDSU, and I have somebody to talk college hoops with now.
Now, in order for you to get here, what's the logistics like for you to get out of Washington and get back to the state basketball tournaments?
Well, it's always a little complicated getting from Washington to South Dakota, but I've gotten used to the trip. We do it pretty much most weeks, And but when you have basketball, high school basketball on the other end, it gives you an additional incentive. So you're willing to put up with the travel to get here.
So are you going to make it to any of the other tournaments out in Rapid City or Sioux Falls while you're back in town?
Probably won't get to Rapid this year for the A, but I'll probably see the AA tomorrow, the Premier.
Did you get to see any of the girls basketball tournaments last week?
I made it to the girls B in Huron, Jones County. My hometown was in it this year, and we hadn't had a team in the tournament, I think, since 1996. So, you know, it was great to get out there and support the hometown. They won one game there, and so I was actually there for that game. So, but it was good. It was a lot of fun. There's nothing like the atmosphere at the tournaments are all great, and but the small towns, the B, and this next game, two really well-coached teams. This should be a barn burner.
I tell you what, we're going to take a break and come back and start setting things up. Thanks for taking time to talk to us here.
Thanks, Steve. Always good to be with you. Thank you.
Senator John Thune joining us here. We'll be back with more. The Class B tournament continues in a moment here on SDPB3, South Dakota Public Broadcasting.
Free statewide broadcast of this South Dakota High School Sports Championship is underwritten by the thousands of members of the Friends of South Dakota Public Broadcasting, by Mid-Continent Communications, and by Dakota Bank.
Side game, Trevor Hofer starts at a forward. He got off to a good start. That opened things up for the big man Oxley in the middle, who ended up with 16 points, 5 rebounds yesterday. He averages 10.5. Gatsky had 21 points in the win. He'll start at a senior guard. Chase Bixler, a junior, very steady guard. He had 9 points yesterday. And Trevor Hofer, again, that great start for him. Boston Knipling, by the way, your other starter for Hitchcock-Tulare, the 6-foot junior. And it was the baskets by Hofer really that opened everything up for Hitchcock-Tulare as they got off to that great start against Faith, posting that 14-point victory, the 8 seed, knocking off the 1 seed yesterday. But now it's the Patriots taking on the Beavers of Hanson. I think this is going to be a really, really good basketball game.
Hitchcock-Tulare 52% from the field, 57% from three-point land in their game yesterday. Shot 73% from the free throw line. They're going to need to match that from the stripe again here today. It'll be the Hanson Beavers in their blue uniforms today, and the Patriots will be wearing their home whites. We've done all weekend to get you set for this one. Now it's time to hand it over to our public address announcer here inside the Barnett Center, Mr. Jim Apple, for tonight's starting lineups.
Good evening. We are pleased to welcome you to the semifinal session of the State Boys B Basketball Tournament. The South Dakota High School Activities Association reminds everyone that these state tournament games are intended for the enjoyment and benefit of high school students. Good sportsmanship is essential for the proper support of the student athletes. That is why South Dakota High School Activities Association, along with its corporate partners, Sanford Health, First Premier Bank Card, Farmers Union Insurance Agency, Billion Automotive, and the South Dakota Army National Guard, supports good sportsmanship. With good sportsmanship, everyone is a winner. Support good sportsmanship during tonight's games. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please stand as we honor the flag of our country? Please join in singing our national anthem as it is played by the Gettysburg High School Band under the direction of Adam Roberts. We would remind all in attendance that the proper respect is to remove your hat, face the flag, and stand at attention with your right hand over your heart. Veterans and active duty military not in uniform may salute the flag, our national anthem.
Go back to the Patriots.
Patriots dodged the bullet there. That long rebound went out to the corner and nobody was there. And finally, Nichols ran out there and grabbed it. Patriots were lucky that they didn't surrender a basket on the second effort.
7:13 left to go here in the opening goings. Just underway, first quarter. Hitchcock-Tulare with the bucket from Oxley a moment ago. They're looking for more now at the top of the key. That's Bixler. Floater off the front side of the iron, no good. Wanandi will push it in transition. Three on the way. Good! Knocking it down from the right wing, Jordan Marquardt.
He was held in check to just 9 points yesterday. I expect he'll have more points tonight.
Yeah, Marquardt was just 2 of 13 in that game and knocked down 2 of 7 threes. All of his buckets came from beyond the arc, and they're going to call Nichols with a push to the back of Oxley.
Yep, foul away from the basketball. And one thing Coach Holtzman has talked to us about is that sometimes Taylor Nichols will get into foul trouble. That's going to be a key factor tonight for both Oxley and for Nichols.
Oxley maybe just a little bit more athletic than Nichols, but those two match up incredibly well on the interior. Ball at the top of the key for the Patriots. About a minute and a half into this one here this evening.
Key for the Patriots is their guard play. Gatsky and Bixler, they're the combo that makes things happen for Hitchcock-Tulare.
Bixler back outside. Gatsky now with the left-handed dribble will slow things down. Hanson with the 1-point edge on defense in blue.
Patriots are a very deliberate team. This is their style. They want ball games in the 50s. In fact, when they surrender more than 55 points, they lose almost all the time. When they hold opponents under 55, they have not been beaten this season.
Oxley dribbles it off his own foot. The ball is loose, picked up by the Beavers.
Nice play by Kessler.
Into the front court we go. Marquardt spins, stops at the free throw line, nearly traveled. Now Wanandi kicks it back outside. Marquardt wants it. Nichols is posting up, but he's being handled in the interior nicely by the Patriots. Marquardt for three, no good. Tipped in the air, loose, and it's going to be an offensive foul on the Beavers. They're going to get Lane Kessler for his first personal.
Yeah, Kessler in there to provide some extra rebounding, extra presence inside the 6'1" senior. He did not score yesterday. Got into a little bit of foul trouble yesterday, did Lane Kessler.
5:18 left to go in this first quarter. Plenty of time for both squads who are trying to get a good feel for the tempo in this game. Oxley, only points of the night so far for Hitchcock-Tulare. He kicks it back outside. Nichols all over him. Bixler back inside. Oxley nowhere to go. Tips it back to the top of the key. That's Knipling. And now they reset the offense again. No shot clock here at the Class B level in case you're joining us for the first time. So you're going to see a lot of stall tactic offense throughout the night. Lob pass inside. Oxley with the nice grab and the finish. He'll go to the line to try to make it a three-point play the old-fashioned way.
What a pass by Bixler to set up Oxley. Couldn't have done that better for the Patriots. Watch this again. Bixler, the drive, looks like he's going to shoot. Nope, he passes it. Oxley, the perfect finish.
Free throw off the front of the iron is good, and Hitchcock-Tulare with the 5-3 lead. We're at our first media timeout of the night. We'll be back with more from the Class B Boys State Basketball Tournament in Aberdeen.
Thank you, Gettysburg High School Band. Tonight's first matchup is between the Hitchcock-Tulare Patriots and the Hanson Beavers. We will announce the starting lineups in alternating fashion. First for Hanson, at a guard, number 1, Aaron Wanandi. For Hitchcock-Tulare, starting at a guard, number 3, Chase Bixler. For Hanson, starting at a guard, number 21, Jordan Marquardt. For Hitchcock-Tulare, starting at a guard, number 5, Landon Gatsky. For Hanson, starting at a forward, number 23, Sam Vanderstouw. For Hitchcock-Tulare, starting at a guard, number 4, Boston Knipling. For Hanson, starting at a forward, number 30, Lane Kessler. For Hitchcock-Tulare, starting at a forward, number 23, Trevor Hofer. And for Hanson, starting at center, number 55, Taylor Nichols. And for Hitchcock-Tulare, starting at center, number 22, Tyler Oxley. Assistant coaches for the Hanson Beavers, Ray Slava and Peyton Smith. Head coach, Josh Oltmans. And for Hitchcock-Tulare, assistant coach, Josh McKelvey. And head coach, Kenny Heater. Officials for tonight's contest, Josh Kemp, Bo Beck, and Mark Logan. Let's get ready to play some hoops. Here we go. Let's hear it.
Starting lineups, and thanks to Mr. Jim Apple for today's introductions. Once again, I'm J.J. Hardigan. He's Steve Toom, and we're ready for some Class B state tournament action here on South Dakota Public Broadcasting. You see number 5, Hanson, who had an upset win yesterday, getting set to take on number 8, Hitchcock-Tulare, also had an upset win yesterday. These two teams trying to get to the state title game. And it's all coming up here right now as Nichols steps inside the center circle. He's the tournament's leading scorer and leading rebounder here tonight. He's going to be our big player to watch this evening for Hanson and really for both sides of the floor.
Hanson opens up man-to-man. Oxley being guarded by Nichols in the paint.
They've got it at the top of the key. It'll be the Patriots in white working from right to left on your TV screens. Turn around. And so far, it's going to be Hitchcock-Tulare who comes out firing. Tyler Oxley confidently over the head of Nichols.
That's a big bucket for the Patriots to start as they went right inside attacking Nichols, the 6'5" center for the Hanson Beavers.
The Barnett center is loud and rocking. 3 no good from the left wing. Rebounded by Nichols. He goes baseline, but got his foot out of bounds. It'll be. This is South Dakota Public Broadcasting. Welcome back inside the Barnett Center here on the campus of Northern State University. I'm J.J. Hardigan. He's Steve Toom. Semi-final boys basketball action coming your way here on SDPB. We're glad to have it with you as the Hanson Beavers try to get back in this one, down by 2.
They bring Jared Zenz into the lineup.
Jumper no good. Rebound underneath, tipped by Oxley, and it'll end up in the hands of the Patriots.
Patriots, much like what we saw from Parker earlier today, have 2 very good guards. Both of them can play the point. Bixler, the normal point guard, but Gatsky can fill in that role if need be as well. He's a very good ball handler, very good passer.
3 from the top of the key is no good. Oxley with the tip. It's still loose and recovered by the Patriots. They will reset their offense. And again, it goes through the hands of Bixler, as you mentioned a moment ago. Oxley out where he doesn't feel all that comfortable around the perimeter. Gets it into the hands of the guards. Now back up to the top of the key. They'll kick it into the hands of Gatsky. Gatsky guarded by Marquardt. That's going to be a good battle tonight.
Hanson played a lot of zone yesterday. Tonight they go man-to-man against the Patriots.
Essentially a free throw there. No good from the line. It goes out of bounds. Last touch. They're going to say that one goes off the fingertips of Trevor Hofer. Nichols had it. Hofer tipped it away, and it'll be the Hanson Beavers ball.
A couple of subs in here for the Patriots. Cooper Gordon in and Eli Hofer. Gordon wears number 30, Eli Hofer number 25 for Hitchcock-Tulare.
Great crowd on hand. Hardly a seat left available inside the Barnett Center here in the early goings, and we still have one more game to be played today. A lot of these fans showed up early on Wednesday night, got here Thursday morning. The crowds have been growing ever since. Lob pass inside. That one too strong. It goes over the head of Nichols and out of bounds.
Yep, Vanderstow tried to feed Nichols down low, who was slipped in behind his defender, and he corralled that one. No one was between him and the basket.
Pretty clean game so far here. No real foul troubles to talk about. Both teams off to a bit of a slow start on the offensive side. As the Patriots go back to work. Nichols got his fingers on that one. It will stay in the hands of the Patriots, though, here with 2:57 left to go in the opening quarter.
Trevor Hofer is matched up against a shorter player in Zenz as that ball goes out of bounds. And Trevor Hofer at 6'2" tried to take the 5'9" guard right to the basket, but Nichols came over and helped him out.
Fans, again, if you want to get involved in our broadcast, you can do so by going on to our social media sites, Facebook and Twitter. Just search SDPB Sports. Take a minute now to share some photos. Get involved in the conversation. The hashtag is SDHoops15. We're all tied up at 5 as Hanson responds on the other end. Now a near steal. It is a steal. Pushing it into the front court and going all the way in for the layup will be Sam Vanderstow.
Made the last bucket. Vanderstow goes coast to coast after the steal, and Hanson playing a little more up-tempo.
Bixler inside, lost the rock for a minute, recovers, and the left-handed layup ties it back up at 7.
Bixler has good size on his frame at 6'1". He can maneuver in the paint and score in there.
Floater is swatted out of bounds. What a rejection there from Hitchcock-Tulare's Trevor Hofer.
You're watching a production of South Dakota Public Broadcasting.
This high school activities championship event is conducted under the auspices of the South Dakota High School Activities Association.
And a good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome inside the Barnett Center here in Aberdeen. We come to you from Northern State University's campus, the site of your Class B Boys State Basketball Championships. I'm JJ Hardigan. He's Steve Toom. We're excited to have you aboard for the final 2 games on day 2 of this 3-day tournament. And we've got 2 big ones coming your way here tonight, starting out with Hitchcock-Tulare and Hanson, a pair of teams that came in as the lower seed on day 1, Steve, but a pair of upsets in the opening round of our bracket put these 2 teams in the semifinals.
Yeah, Hitchcock-Tulare knocked off number 1 seed Faith 54-40 in the opening round, and then Hanson beat number 4 seed Wolsey-Wessington in an epic game 56-55. So that sets up our first matchup later on tonight. It'll be White River taking on Langford. Semifinal night, always such an exciting night here at the state tournament, and the Hanson Beavers provided plenty of excitement for their fans yesterday. A 1-point win over the Warbirds of Wolsey-Wessington.
You see the Hanson Beavers there getting their warm-up shots finished up. Let's zoom in on their school as we take a look at our Google Earth images. There's Hanson High School, and let's take a look at what this team has done well this season. Obviously, they are led by their big players there in Aaron Wanandi, Jordan Marquardt, Sam Vanderstow. But this squad here, very impressive, really from top to bottom.
Yep, and you see Jordan Marquardt, the all-time career scoring leader, 19 points a game for the senior. Taylor Nichols is a double-double machine, nearly 12 boards a game, in addition to 17 points. And Aaron Wanandi, he's the point guard. He'll make things flow at 3 assists a game, a little over 3 assists per game. Josh Oltman's the head coach there, 20-4 the record for Hanson. And the one change in the starting lineup, they'll put Lane Kessler in place of Jared Zenz tonight. A little more size in that lineup, as Zenz goes at about 5'10" or so. Kessler at 6'1", Wanandi at 5'10" and a junior. Nichols, the big man, 6'4". Marquardt at 6'1", and then Sam Vanderstow, the three-point specialist, starts at a forward there. Nichols and Marquardt both signed at Dakota Wesleyan.
Taylor Nichols had a great game yesterday. In fact, a double-double, 28 points, 13 rebounds. but they matched that inside presence with three-point shooting. They were 8 of 18 from long distance at 44%. That's going to be huge for them here again today. Let's take a look now at the Hitchcock-Tulare Patriots, who come in at 17-7 on this season, and they needed a big upset on day one and played about as perfect a basketball game as you could possibly imagine against the number 1 seed. Got the 14-point win. As we zoom in on their squad here, 17-7, as you see, Kenny Huther putting together a great squad led by Landon Gatsky there at the top, who's leading their team in 14 points a game. Tyler Oxley, 6.5 rebounds. He is a true presence inside. And Chase Bixler, who handles the rock, really a sound facilitator for this team as well.
Yeah, the Hitchcock-Tulare used a good inside-out